I posted the photo carousel 11:47 p.m., 3 glasses of champagne deep, standing in my brand new kitchen with marble countertops that cost more than my first car. 6 bedrooms. Wine cellar. Heated pool. Theater room with recliners. The caption was something stupid like new chapter, new dreams with a house emoji and a champagne flute. I tagged everyone. Including Marcus. Marcus wasn't my husband. My husband was Jake. 15 years together, married for 11. 2 kids, Emma, 9, and Noah, 7. Jake worked in logistics, stable job, good man, showed up every single day. Never missed a soccer game. Always remembered to buy milk. Fixed the leaky sink without being asked. We had a nice house in the suburbs. 3 bedrooms, good school district, trampoline in the backyard that he installed himself one Saturday while I was showing properties. It was fine. Everything was always fine. But fine wasn't enough anymore. I'm a real estate agent. I've been successful, really successful, especially the last 3 years. I started making serious money, 6 figures, then pushing $300K annually. Jake was proud at first. Bragged about me at his company barbecues. Told his friends his wife was killing it. Then I started working later. Networking events. Showings that ran past dinner. Client dinners that turned into drinks that turned into me stumbling home at midnight smelling like wine and expensive cologne that wasn't mine. I told myself it was necessary. Told him it was temporary. Told myself I'd earned the right to celebrate my success. Marcus was a developer. 42, divorced, no kids, drove a Tesla, wore expensive watches, had a loft downtown with floor-to-ceiling windows. We met at an open house 2 years ago. He flirted. I flirted back. It felt harmless. Electric. Like I was 25 again instead of 38 with stretch marks and a minivan I hated and yoga pants I wore because real pants didn't fit anymore. We started texting about properties. Then about other things. Our marriages. Our dreams. What we'd do differently if we could start over. Then meeting for coffee. Then lunch. Then drinks. Then his loft, where he had a bottle of wine already open and music playing, and he told me I was the most interesting woman he'd met in years. Then a hotel room in March, 8 months ago, while Jake thought I was at a conference in Charlotte. I told myself I deserved this. I was the breadwinner now. I was the one closing deals, bringing in the money, making things happen. Jake was steady, sure, but steady felt boring. Predictable. He did the dishes and helped with homework and watched Netflix on the couch in his old college sweatshirt. Marcus took me to restaurants with wait lists. Made me feel like I was someone worth pursuing. Worth choosing. Worth the risk. Jake looked at me like I was his wife, his partner, the mother of his children. Marcus looked at me like I was a woman. There's a difference. Or at least I convinced myself there was. The affair was careful at first. Stolen hours. Deleted texts. Separate hotel bookings under fake names like we were in some kind of spy movie. But after 6 months, I got sloppy. Confident. I started believing my own lies so completely that they felt like the truth. When Jake asked where I'd been, I didn't even hesitate anymore. The lies came out smooth, practiced, believable. I was a great liar. It turns out you get really good at something when you practice it every single day. My friends knew something was off. Jenna asked me point blank one day, "Are you happy?" I told her I was just stressed. Work was intense. The kids were exhausting. Jake and I were fine. She looked at me like she didn't believe me, but she didn't push. I wish she'd pushed. The mansion was supposed to be an investment property. That's what I told Jake. A flip, something to renovate and sell for profit, maybe make $200K if we played it right. Marcus helped me find it. Off-market deal, estate sale, needed work but had good bones. We toured it alone. Twice. The first time, we walked through professionally, talking about square footage and ROI. The second time, we had sex in the master bedroom on the floor because there wasn't furniture yet. The windows were open and I could hear birds and traffic, and I thought this is what freedom feels like. I bought it with my own money. Mostly. Some joint savings. Jake signed the papers without reading them because he trusted me. I told him it was a smart investment. He said if I thought it was smart, he believed me. That's the kind of man he was. The kind who trusted his wife. I started staying there overnight, telling Jake I was staging it, meeting with contractors, overseeing renovations. Sometimes that was even true. But mostly I was with Marcus. We'd order takeout, drink wine on the balcony, talk about what our life could look like. He'd say things like, "Imagine waking up here every day and you deserve this kind of life." He never promised me anything concrete. Never said he'd leave his life for me or that we'd get married or build a future. I just assumed. I filled in the blanks with my own fantasies. That's what affair partners do. They let you write the story. They don't correct you when you're wrong. The housewarming party was my idea. I told Jake it was a networking thing, a showcase for potential buyers, good for business. He said he'd stay home with the kids. Emma had a cold anyway and Noah had a project due Monday. I didn't argue. I didn't invite him. I didn't want him there. 70 people came. Clients, other agents, some of Marcus's friends from his development company. It was beautiful. Catered food, bartender, string lights in the backyard, a guy playing acoustic guitar. I wore a red dress I'd bought specifically for this, something I'd never wear to a family barbecue or parent-teacher night. I looked good. I felt good. Marcus wore a navy suit. We stood too close in photos. His hand on the small of my back. My head tilted toward him when he whispered something. We looked like a couple. We looked like we belonged together. I posted everything on Instagram. The kitchen with the marble island. The living room with the fireplace. The pool at sunset with the string lights reflecting on the water. Group shots with clients. And yes, multiple photos of Marcus and me. Him handing me champagne. Both of us smiling like we own the world. Me looking at him the way I used to look at Jake, back when we first started dating and everything felt possible. I tagged him. I tagged everyone. My account was public. I had 3,400 followers. Real estate colleagues. Old high school friends. Family members. People I hadn't spoken to in 10 years. I posted my affair for the entire world to see and I didn't even realize I was doing it. I spent the night at the mansion. Marcus and I drank too much, had sex in the bed I'd bought that week, fell asleep tangled together. I woke up at 6 a.m. with a headache and 17 missed calls from my dad. My dad called again at 7:13 a.m. I was still in bed, Marcus asleep next to me, his arm across my waist. I almost didn't answer. But it was my dad. You answer when your dad calls. What the hell is this? His voice was shaking. Not angry. Worse. Disappointed. Broken. What? These photos. I'm looking at your Instagram right now. Who is that man? My stomach dropped. The champagne in my system turned to acid. Dad, that's Marcus. He's a colleague. He helped me find the property. It's a networking event. His hand is on your back in 3 different photos. You're looking at him the way you used to look at Jake on your wedding day. Your mother is sitting here crying. Do you understand what you've done? The room tilted. Marcus stirred but didn't wake. You're reading into things. You're seeing something that's not there. I showed your mother. She saw it immediately. We called Jake. The world stopped. You what? He didn't answer. We left a message. We told him to look at your Instagram. Sweetheart, please. Please tell me I'm wrong. Please tell me you didn't do this. I couldn't speak. My throat closed up. Are you there now? Are you with him right now? I hung up. My hands were shaking so hard I dropped the phone. Marcus woke up. Everything okay? I didn't answer. I tried calling Jake. 4 times. Straight to voicemail every time. I texted him, call me. Please. It's important. No response. I texted again, Dad is confused about some photos. I need to talk to you. Nothing. I called the house phone. It rang and rang. I threw on clothes, jeans and the t-shirt I'd worn yesterday, didn't bother with makeup. Told Marcus I had to go. He mumbled something about meeting for brunch later, didn't ask what was wrong. Didn't seem concerned that my dad had just called me at 7 in the morning. I should have seen it then. The way he rolled over and went back to sleep while my life was imploding. I drove home doing 75 in a 55 zone. Ran 2 red lights. My hands were shaking so badly I could barely grip the wheel. I kept thinking about what my dad said. That I was looking at Marcus the way I used to look at Jake. Was I? Did everyone see it? Did Jake? When I pulled into the driveway at 8:47 a.m., Jake's truck was there but the house felt wrong. Too quiet. Like the air had been sucked out. I walked in and the first thing I noticed was how clean everything was. Too clean. The kids' toys were put away. Emma's backpack was gone from the hook by the door. Noah's shoes weren't scattered across the entryway like they always were. Jake was sitting at the kitchen table with his laptop open. He didn't look up when I came in. Just kept staring at the screen. Jake. Nothing. Jake, listen to me. Those photos, it's not what it looks like. Dad misunderstood. It's a networking thing. Marcus is just. Stop. His voice was flat. Empty. Dead. Worse than yelling. Worse than anger. I talked to your dad at 7:30. Then I looked at your Instagram. All of it? Every post from the last 6 months. Then I looked at our credit card statements. Hotel rooms in 3 different cities. Restaurants I've never been to. A weekend in Asheville in September when you said you were at a seminar. He finally looked at me. His eyes were red but completely dry. Like he'd cried everything out hours ago and now there was nothing left. How long? It's not what you think. How long? My voice came out as a whisper. 8 months. He nodded slowly, like he'd already known. Like he was just confirming what he'd suspected. The kids are at my mom's. I dropped them off an hour ago. Told them you had an early showing. Emma asked me why you weren't home last night. I lied to her. Again. For you. Jake, please. Let me explain. I made a mistake. I can fix this. We can fix this. I don't want an explanation. I don't want to hear his name. I don't want to know details. I want you out of this room right now because if you stay, I'm going to say things I can't take back and I'm trying really hard not to do that in front of the kids' photos on the fridge. I started crying. Stupid, selfish tears that meant nothing. I made a mistake. I'm so sorry. I love you. I love our family. You posted him on the internet. His voice cracked. You smiled in his arms and tagged him and showed the whole world you bought a mansion with your affair partner while I'm here eating chicken nuggets with our kids and helping with spelling homework and fixing the washing machine because you were too busy screwing him to notice it was broken. I didn't buy it with him. It's mine. It's an investment. Is he there right now? When your dad called, were you in bed with him? I didn't answer. I couldn't. Jake stood up. Closed his laptop. Walked past me without touching me, like I was something contaminated. He went upstairs. I heard drawers opening. Closing. When he came back down, he had a duffel bag packed. I'm getting the kids from my mom's. We'll stay there until I figure out what to do next. I already called the lawyer. She'll contact you Monday. You can't take my kids. He stopped at the door. Turned around. His face was completely calm. Your kids? You haven't been home for dinner in 3 weeks. You missed Noah's parent-teacher conference. You forgot Emma had a dance recital last Friday and when she came home crying, I told her you were stuck at a showing. Emma asked me last Tuesday if you still loved us because you're never here anymore. I told her of course you did, that you were just busy. I lied to my 9-year-old daughter to protect you. And you were with him. Jake. I hope he was worth it. I hope when you're lying in that mansion, in that bed you bought, you think about the fact that Emma cried herself to sleep that night because her mom forgot about her recital. I hope you remember that I'm the one who held her. Not you. Me. The door closed. Not a slam. Just a quiet click. I stood there in my kitchen. The one with the refrigerator covered in the kids' artwork and permission slips and family photos from last Christmas. The one where Jake made pancakes every Sunday morning while I slept in. I couldn't remember the last time I'd eaten breakfast with them. The last time I'd looked at these drawings. The last time I'd been present. I called Marcus. Voice shaking. My husband knows. My dad saw the photos and told him. It's over. Everything's over. Shit. Okay. What do you want to do? What do I want to do? You said we had something real. You said I deserved better. We do have something. But this is complicated now. You need to figure out your divorce. Let things settle. Are you breaking up with me? Silence. Long enough that I knew. Marcus. I think we need some space. This is really messy. I didn't sign up for a divorce and custody battles and all of this. I blew up my marriage for you. I destroyed my family. Nobody asked you to do that. That was your choice. He hung up. I sat on my kitchen floor, the one where my kids used to have dance parties, where Jake and I used to drink coffee at 6 a.m. before anyone else woke up, and I understood with perfect, brutal clarity that I had just traded 15 years and 2 children and a man who loved me unconditionally for a guy who wouldn't even answer the phone 12 hours later. My dad was right. He saw it in one photo. What Jake had probably been seeing for months. Maybe years. I'd been so obvious. So stupid. So convinced I deserved more than what I had. The house was silent except for the hum of the refrigerator. I was completely alone. And I had done every single bit of this to myself. Jake filed for divorce exactly 1 week after the housewarming party. His lawyer was a woman named Patricia Chen. Efficient, professional, ruthless. Mine kept telling me I had rights, that North Carolina was an equitable distribution state, that we could fight for 50-50 custody. But how do you fight when the evidence is posted on your own Instagram? The petition was brutal. 23 pages. It laid out everything. The hotel charges. The restaurant receipts in cities I'd claimed to be working. The Asheville weekend. Phone records showing hundreds of texts to Marcus's number. And screenshots. So many screenshots. Every photo from the housewarming party. Photos from other events where Marcus and I stood just a little too close. A photo from 4 months ago where his hand was on my shoulder at a charity gala. I documented my own affair and posted it publicly. Primary custody was never really on the table. Jake's lawyer presented evidence that I'd been absent from the home an average of 4 nights a week for the past 6 months. That I'd missed Noah's parent-teacher conference, Emma's dance recital, 3 soccer games, and a school concert. That when I was home, I was on my phone texting someone, Marcus, instead of helping with homework or bedtime routines. My lawyer tried. She really did. But what was I going to say? That I was a good mother? The court-appointed guardian ad litem interviewed the kids. Emma told her she didn't trust me anymore because I lied about where I was. Noah told her he thought I had a new family now and didn't want them anymore. Those were their words. Documented in a report that I had to read in Patricia Chen's office while Jake sat across from me, stone-faced. I got every other weekend. 1 weeknight dinner, supervised for the first 3 months. The court ordered family therapy. Emma refused to go after the second session. She had a full panic attack in the parking lot when she saw me getting out of my car. Hyperventilated so badly that the therapist called an ambulance. They didn't take her in, but it was close. My 9-year-old daughter had a panic attack at the sight of me. The therapist's report said Emma was experiencing acute maternal abandonment, anxiety, and trust dissolution. In regular language, I'd broken her so badly she couldn't be in the same room as me without her body shutting down. Noah stopped talking much. Yes. No. Okay. Fine. One-word answers. The child therapist Jake hired said Noah was internalizing everything, that he blamed himself, that he thought if he'd been better or more interesting, maybe I would have stayed. That crushed me more than anything else. This little boy, my baby, thinking he wasn't enough. When the truth was I was the one who wasn't enough. I was the one who failed. Jake got the house. I didn't fight it. How could I? I had a mansion. Except the mansion was bleeding me dry. The mortgage was $8,400 a month. Property taxes were $2,100 a month. The utilities alone were $600. I was spending over $11,000 a month on a house I bought to impress a man who dumped me via phone call. My real estate career imploded fast. 3 deals fell through in 2 weeks. One client told me directly, I saw those photos online. I can't trust someone who'd betray their family like that to be honest with me about a home inspection. Another just stopped returning my calls. My broker called me into his office and suggested I take some time off to handle my personal situation. That's real estate speak for, you're poison and you're hurting our reputation. The gossip spread through our professional community like wildfire. I'd see other agents at open houses and they'd go quiet when I walked in. I'd get emails removed from group threads. One woman I'd worked with for 6 years looked me dead in the eye at a networking event and said, I hope it was worth it, then walked away. Marcus stopped returning my calls after day 4. I texted him, are you avoiding me? No response. I drove to his condo one night. His Tesla wasn't there. I waited for 2 hours like some kind of stalker. He never showed. I texted again, did I mean anything to you? He replied at 2 a.m., this was a mistake. I'm sorry. Please don't contact me again. 8 months. Hundreds of hours together. Countless texts and calls in hotel rooms and promises about someday. And I got a breakup text that was 3 sentences long. I tried going back to work. Changed brokerages. Took a position at a smaller firm across town where fewer people knew me. It didn't matter. My reputation preceded me. Clients would Google me and find nothing official. But they'd find Facebook groups and neighborhood forums where people had shared the screenshots. Someone had created an entire thread called Homewreckers in Real Estate and I was Exhibit A. I ended up doing property management for rental units. Unglamorous work. Collecting rent. Coordinating repairs. Dealing with tenant complaints about leaky faucets and broken AC units. I was making about $42,000 a year. I'd gone from closing $500,000 deals and pulling in $300,000 annually to calling plumbers about clogged toilets. I had to sell the mansion. 4 months of bleeding savings, draining retirement accounts, maxing out credit cards to cover the gap. I listed it at $2.1 million. It sat for 8 weeks. I dropped it to $1.95 million. Finally sold at $1.84 million. After fees and commissions and the mortgage payoff, I walked away with almost nothing. Actually lost about 60 grand when you factored in the renovations I paid for. I bought that house for $1.9 million. Spent $60,000 fixing it up. Sold it for $1.84 million. I lost money on my affair house. The universe has a sense of humor. I moved into a one-bedroom apartment in a complex near the highway. $1,200 a month, which was all I could afford. The carpet was beige and stained. The walls were thin enough that I could hear every word from the couple next door when they fought, which was often. The parking lot flooded when it rained. My car got broken into twice in 6 months. This was my life now. My weeknight dinners with the kids were at a Panera Bread because I didn't have space for them at my apartment and Jake rightfully didn't want me at the house. Emma barely ate. Just picked at her mac and cheese and stared at the table. Noah asked me once, very quietly, "Are you going to do this again with another family?" I didn't understand at first. Do what? Leave. You left us for that man. Will you leave again? My throat closed up. No, baby. Never. I made a terrible mistake. I'm so sorry. You picked him over us. That's not. But it was. That's exactly what I did. Every time I chose to stay at the mansion instead of coming home. Every time I lied about where I'd been. Every time I deleted a text from Marcus before Jake could see my screen. I was choosing him. Choosing the fantasy. Choosing myself. Never once considering what it cost them. Emma started therapy twice a week. Jake told me she was having nightmares about me leaving again. She'd wake up crying, convinced I was gone forever. The therapist said she was processing abandonment trauma. I did that. I traumatized my own daughter. Jake moved on faster than I expected. I saw her first on Emma's Instagram story. Yes, I made a fake account just to see my kids' lives since they wouldn't accept my follow request from my real account. Her name was Rachel. She was a third-grade teacher at their school. Blonde hair, warm smile, looked kind. In the photo, she was at the kitchen table helping Noah with the science project. My kitchen table. My son. She was laughing at something he'd said. She got to see my son laugh. I hadn't seen him genuinely smile in 7 months. 2 months later, there was another photo. All 4 of them at a pumpkin patch. Jake, Rachel, Emma, and Noah. Emma was holding Rachel's hand. They looked like a family. They looked happy. I wanted to be angry. I wanted to call Jake and scream about him replacing me. But what right did I have? I'd left first. I'd chosen Marcus over them. Rachel was just there, being present, showing up, doing all the things I should have been doing. She was a better mother to my kids than I'd been. I tried therapy for myself. The therapist was patient but firm. She asked me why I did it and I gave her all the reasons I'd been rehearsing. I was unhappy. Unappreciated. Jake stopped seeing me as a woman. Marcus made me feel alive. Did you ever tell Jake you were unhappy? He should have known. That's not how marriage works. Did you use your words? Did you say I need more attention or I'm feeling disconnected or can we work on our relationship? No. So you expected him to read your mind, and when he didn't, you decided you had permission to betray him. That's not fair. Isn't it? You're sitting here telling me all the things Jake didn't do. What did you do? What effort did you make to fix your marriage before you decided to destroy it? I didn't go back after that session. My friends were gone. All of them. Jenna blocked me on everything. I tried emailing her once. I know I messed up. I miss you. Can we talk? She replied, I can't be friends with someone who could do that to their family. Please don't contact me again. I'm praying for you, but from a distance. She'd been in my wedding. Thrown me 2 baby showers. We'd been best friends for 12 years. Gone. Another friend, Michelle, I ran into at Target. She saw me, made eye contact, then turned her cart around and went the opposite direction. Literally fled from me in the cereal aisle. I'd become the cautionary tale. The woman other wives pointed to and said, see? That's what happens. My sister was the only one who still talked to me regularly. But even those conversations started with a sigh. Hey. How are you holding up? Like I was terminally ill. Maybe I was. Emotionally, anyway. Work was degrading. My broker at the new firm kept me on but made it clear I was lucky to have any job at all. I wasn't allowed to handle luxury listings anymore. Just rentals. Section 8 properties. Apartments. I spent my days showing studios to people who could barely afford them and collecting rent from tenants who called me at 11 p.m. about cockroaches. I'd had a career. A reputation. I'd been on the cover of our regional real estate magazine twice. Top producer under 40. Now I was the woman who ruined her life for a guy who dumped her in 3 sentences. I tried reaching out to Jake once, about 9 months after the divorce finalized. I sent him a long email. I apologized for everything. I told him I understood what I'd done. I asked if we could co-parent more cooperatively, if maybe the kids could spend more time with me, if he thought family therapy might help us all heal. He replied in 2 sentences, "The custody arrangement is what the court decided based on your actions and their best interests. If you want to change it, talk to your lawyer." That was it. No emotion. No anger. Just cold, factual distance. Like I was a stranger he'd once known. I thought about Marcus sometimes. Checked his Instagram, he'd blocked me but I had my fake account. He was engaged 8 months after we ended. Some woman from Raleigh, 32 years old, worked in marketing, no kids, no baggage. They looked blissfully happy in all their photos. Hiking trips. Beach vacations. Dinner at nice restaurants. It took him 8 months to find someone new. Someone without a destroyed family. Someone without trauma. Someone who could give him what he wanted without complications. I'd blown up my entire life for him. And he replaced me before a year was up. The worst part, worse than the loneliness, worse than the financial collapse, worse than the career implosion, was watching my kids grow up through Instagram stories from a fake account. Noah lost his first tooth. I found out from a photo Rachel posted. Emma made the honor roll. Jake posted it. Didn't tell me. Noah's science project won 2nd place at the school fair. I wasn't invited. Emma started playing piano. I didn't know until I saw a video of her first recital. Rachel was sitting in the audience next to Jake. They were holding hands. I used to be the one in the audience. I used to take pictures. I used to know everything about my kids' lives. Now I was a visitor. An inconvenience. A twice-monthly obligation. On Noah's 8th birthday, I wasn't invited to the party. Jake said it was less confusing for him this way and that Noah specifically asked for it to be just family. I wasn't family anymore. I dropped off a present at the house. Rachel answered the door. She was kind. Thanked me. Told me she'd make sure Noah got it. Through the doorway behind her, I could see balloons and streamers and 8 or 9 kids running around playing. I could hear my son laughing. My son. Having a birthday party. Without me. I sat in my car in their driveway and cried until I couldn't breathe. Emma's therapist told Jake, who told his lawyer, who filed a motion, that Emma was struggling with maternal abandonment issues and that forcing contact with me was causing regression in her treatment. The court reduced my weeknight dinner to once every 2 weeks. I was losing them. Actually, I'd already lost them. I was just watching the court system formalize it. I started drinking more than I should. Not every night. But most nights. A bottle of wine while scrolling through my fake Instagram account, looking at my kids' lives, seeing them happy without me. My sister noticed on a phone call. "You sound drunk." I had a glass of wine. It's 3 p.m. on a Tuesday. I didn't have an answer for that. I called in sick to work twice in 1 month. My broker pulled me aside. "You need to get it together. I'm trying to help you but you're making it really hard." I wasn't falling apart dramatically. No rock bottom moment. Just slowly eroding. Disappearing. Becoming less. My dad came to visit once. Drove 2 hours to see me in my depressing apartment. He didn't say "I told you so." He didn't lecture. He just sat on my second-hand couch and looked sad. When he left, he hugged me tight and whispered, "You have to forgive yourself eventually, sweetheart." But I don't think I can. Because here's the truth nobody tells you about blowing up your life: you don't get a redemption arc. There's no moment where everyone forgives you and welcomes you back and everything's okay again. You just live with it. Every single day. You wake up alone in your apartment that smells like someone else's cigarette smoke seeping through the vents. You go to your job that barely pays your bills. You wait for your court-mandated custody time and hope your kids will actually talk to you this time. And you think about the moment you posted those photos. The moment you smiled in his arms and tagged him and broadcast your betrayal to 3,400 people. You think about your husband's face when he saw them. Your dad's voice breaking on the phone. Your daughter hyperventilating in a parking lot. You think about all of it. Every day. And there's no escape. Emma will be 10 next month. She wants a big birthday party at a trampoline park. Jake told me I could come for 1 hour. 1 hour at my own daughter's 10th birthday party. Like a guest. Like someone who barely matters. And I can't even be angry because I did this. I posted the photos. I smiled in his arms. I chose the mansion and the wine and the fantasy over bedtime stories and soccer games and being present. I thought I deserved more than fine. Turns out fine was everything. And I set it on fire because I was bored. The mansion is gone. Marcus is married. My career is destroyed. My friends abandoned me. My kids look at me like I'm someone they used to know. I'm 39 years old and I live in a one-bedroom apartment near a highway where I can hear trucks all night. I have a job I hate. I have kids I see 26 days a year if I'm lucky. I have nothing but regrets and wine bottles in my recycling and a fake Instagram account to watch my children's lives from the outside. If you're reading this because you're thinking about doing what I did, if you're telling yourself you deserve better, that your spouse doesn't appreciate you, that this exciting new person really sees you in a way your partner doesn't, please stop. Look at your kids sleeping. Look at your partner. Look at your boring, stable, fine life. Because you won't recognize any of it when you're done destroying it. And nobody will be there to catch you when you fall. Trust me. I posted the evidence of my own destruction, smiled while I did it, and woke up the next morning to my dad's voice breaking over the phone. He saw it before I did. Saw what I'd become. Saw the affair in a single photo while I'd been living it for 8 months and convincing myself it was fine. I wish I'd listened. I wish I'd stopped. I wish I'd thought about Emma's face and Noah's laugh and Jake making pancakes on Sunday mornings. But I didn't. And now I live with it. Every single day. Don't be me.